my name is Michael Bosey. Welcome to my podcast, Marketing Without the Marketing. I'm really glad to have you here today. And as you know, if you've been following along, I'm in the middle of a series about SEO. Search engine optimization, one of the most important factors in any marketing program and a key part of any content strategy. Today, I want to talk about a concept that is really important, which is the user pathway. With SEO, keywords are not enough. You won't get the full power that SEO can deliver just by applying some keywords to your site. In order to be building authority with Google, and authority with your visitors too, you need to have a bunch of stuff on your site set up. Now, don't get overwhelmed here. The good news is that you can build all of this little by little. But it really helps to have a strategy going in, and that's what I want to cover here. Now, SEO always starts with the user with a simple query. What do they want? What do they want to know? What do they want to learn? And this is why SEO is so great. The user is already in what I call a searching posture. They want to know something. They want some help. And if you can give that help to them right now, they're way more likely to accept it because they're actually asking right now. Think of how much better this is than pushing your stuff on someone when they're not asking. You know, like every other advertisement you've ever seen in your life. Not good. All right, great. So if we think of it this way, then SEO is not just about site traffic or getting onto page one, though of course both of those things are important. It's about a lot more than that first visit. It's about building a relationship over all the content that you create. So that means that you have to think of it as multiple visits or multiple touches in marketing speak, building trust over time. It's a journey of sorts. So, in order for SEO to be truly worthwhile, we want to look at what I call the 4 Ps of the customer's journey when it comes to SEO that you need to have ready in advance from the first time someone shows up. Those 4 Ps are, number 1, pre-visit. Number 2, present or present moment. Number 3, the pathway. And number 4, the purchase. Let's start with the pre-visit. What do I mean by that? Pre-visit is before they even get to your site. There's 2 factors that are at play here. One is the Google search results that are served. Hopefully you're in those search results. And site speed. Let's look at search results first. As I mentioned in prior segments, we do have to get you on page 1 for that particular keyword. More on exactly how to do that later will get you to that point. But if and when your site shows up in search, and that may be happening today that you're on page 1, awesome. Can you earn the click though? You don't have much there to make your case. A title, a URL, a meta description, right? You really have to get the most out of those 3 things in order to get someone to click through on this pre-visit, right? They don't even know you yet. They're deciding whether they're actually going to click through. And then, of course, if they do decide that, how quickly does your site load? Site speed is one of the most important ranking factors out of Google's 200 plus factors that it uses in its algorithm. This is called page load time. 3 seconds is excellent. That's where you want to be. 6 seconds, satisfactory. 12 seconds, forget about anyone ever visiting. And look, think about your own behavior here, right? Never mind Google. When it takes forever for a page to load, once you've clicked, you bounce, right? And guess what? 12 seconds in web world is forever. And what's worse here is that Google is watching and they just saw a user leave before they even visited. This does not look good for your site. Noted by Google. It just got way less likely that Google will send the next visitor to your site. We want to avoid this. So this is all about 2 things. Number 1, having a really good web host. See my recommendations in the tools and templates that I have. I have a link in the accompanying notes for you. And number 2, uncluttered page code. Some of these things are more advanced, but the general rule of thumb is that the more designed your site is, or the more plugins that you use, the heavier the code. And to me, speed matters more than design at this point. The user won't even see your site if it's not fast. It doesn't matter how pretty it is. If they never show up because it doesn't load fast enough, the design doesn't matter. It's secondary. All right, so that's the pre-visit, but what happens once they're actually on page? This is what I call the present or present moment. What do they do once they get to your site? This is called a site entry, and you can measure this in Google Analytics too. First, as I said in the last segment, did you come through on the promise of your title? If the content doesn't match the promise, the user will bounce. Is the content really useful or entertaining? Is the layout inviting? Do they keep reading beyond that first paragraph? Is there a clear user path, which is what we're talking about now? Do they know what to do? Do they actually get what they want from the page? Again, Google's watching all of this, and if there's a bounce fingerprint, one page and done, your rank will slip. And you can see all of this in Google Analytics too. Seeing these patterns of behavior on particular pages will help you adjust your current content and make better decisions in the future. And I'm going to do a much deeper dive on the ins and outs of Google Analytics in particular in a later segment. All right, let's continue on with number 3, the user pathway. The user is here in your home right now. This is awesome, right? Just like hosting a dinner party, you have to do more than just have the table set, right? You've got to have some appetizers ready, the meal on the stove or in the oven, and that dessert that you prepared earlier this afternoon. You can't, obviously, just wait to do everything until your guests arrive. And this is the same for SEO. That first page where they arrive, a blog post, a landing page, whatever, set up your content so there's a clear next step. And that means you have to think one step ahead, right? You have to have other pages at the ready for that next step because your user's here now, today, immediately. So it's got to be ready to service. Now, of course, we want to also work towards getting an email sign up so you can continue to build a relationship with them, and then you can build a soft touch nurture sequence to keep teaching them. This is called an automation. And again, just like with SEO, the good news is that you don't have to do this all at once. With an email strategy, you can build your automation sequences little by little, just like SEO. And I have another course in development on email marketing as a part of my core concepts of content strategy series of courses. You can find all of those at controlmousemedia.com/courses. Now, why is email so important? Because email is going to be a critical part of the most important of the 4 Ps, which is purchase. We have to get people purchasing. Not all of them, but you need some portion of them, some percentage of them are actually going to have to make a purchase, or you don't have a business, right? That's the whole point of marketing, to lead people gradually towards a sale. It takes trust. This part takes a lot of time, but ultimately we want to get someone to the point of purchase. Now, there's a lot that we have to cover before we can start asking for that sale, so I won't spend a ton of time on this now, but I'll say 2 things about it that are key to opening up payment as a possibility. Number 1, trust comes before any transaction. You got to build up trust. No trust, no transaction. It's that simple. And number 2, friction kills the sale. Once the user has decided to make the purchase, if there's anything that puts friction on that transaction, you have the potential to lose that sale right there. And that's an awful position to be in. But with these 2 things, this means that you got to be in the long game because trust takes time. And the store part of your site had better make it easy to complete the purchase when that customer is ready. Any friction or any drag on that transaction point and the user bounces. And I hate to be harsh about this, but these aren't my rules. These are the rules of business and the new rules of customer behavior on the web. But the cool thing is that SEO helps in the trust process, right? The more you serve ably, the more Google helps you. The aggregate effect of Google seeing you doing good work, serving your audience, is that you get authority. And collected authority makes a huge difference and will continue to build over time. Google will say over and over again, trust this person. And that's going to make a huge difference in getting more people to your site. All right, so I hope that that's a good rubric for understanding what you need to have set up on your site before someone even arrives. Yes, you can do this little by little. And that right there is the topic of the next set of segments, where I want to give you some action items to do right now for beginners, for intermediate, for advanced folks. What action can you take today based on what you see in Google Analytics, what the data shows, and what actions you can take in response to that? That should be fun. So subscribe, and I'll let you know when I publish any of these episodes. I'll let you know immediately. As you know, if you're subscribed already, my email is a feed, which means when I publish something, you get notified. You get to choose what you want, my podcast, my blog, or both. And you get to choose how often. Do you want every post, or once a month, or a few times a year? It's your inbox, and you get to choose, and that's the way that it should be. All right. Thank you so much again for your attention. I really appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next episode.